Hello, students of class 7. I hope you are well. I am your teacher from Kendra Vidyalaya area, and today we are going to read the poem Chivvy. So, before we start, let's look at the picture here. What does it suggest? It seems like that someone is rebuking that child, isn't it? So, someone is scolding that child, and the child is fed up. She is very exhausted. She does not want to hear all these rebukings or scoldings again and again. Remember this when we are going to read the poem. Before reading the poem, let's learn something about our poet, Michael Wayne Rosen. You can see his picture. He is an English children's author. English children's author means his nationality is Britain. He is from England. And he was children's laureate from June 2007 to 2009. What is children's laureate? It is a position, an award which is actually given by United Kingdom once every 2 years. Okay, for whom? Those people who write for children and write or illustrate or write poems or stories, for them this award is given. And Michael Van Rosen, he is a very famous children's author as he has written 140 books. So there are pictures of some very famous books by Michael Rosen. You can attempt to read all these. You would really enjoy these books. Now let's see the word Chivvy. Chivvy, as you have already guessed from the opening picture, it means to nag or to annoy continually or to disturb someone. Regarding this, there is a very funny story. What funny story? About our poet. When the poet Michael Rosen, he was a child himself. He was only 5 years old. Then his mother took him to a school to get admitted. As you have all done when you were 5, when your parents took you to a school to get admitted. So when he went there, the school teacher tried to interview him, and he asked that, what does your mother call you at home, child? So what is your name? What is your pet name? What is your mother call you lovingly? And our poet, how did he reply? He said, Michael, don't. So you can see it. So his mother always scolded him. She always told him, Michael, don't do this, Michael, don't do that. So she was always scolding her, and she was scolding so much that young Michael, our young poet, he thought that his name is Michael Don't. The total of these two phrases is his name. So it is a very funny story about his childhood. So we can guess that when Michael Rosen wrote this poet Chivvy, he remembered this story from his childhood. Now I am going to read the poem once. Listen very carefully for proper pronunciation and intonations. Grown-ups say things like, speak up, don't talk with your mouth full, don't stare, don't point, don't pick your nose, sit up, say please, less noise, shut the door behind you, don't drag your feet, haven't you got a hanky? Take your hands out of your pockets, pull your socks up, stand up straight, say thank you, don't interrupt, no one thinks you're funny, take your elbows off the table. Can't you make your own mind up about anything? So now we are going to discuss each and every stanza properly. Grown-ups. So grown-ups means old people, older people, like your parents, like your teachers, like everyone who is grown up, who has already grown up and who try to control you. What do they say? How do they instruct children? Speak up means don't mumble, when you are talking, talk uh, in such a loud voice that everyone can hear properly, not too loud, but to talk properly so that everyone can hear properly. Don't mumble, don't talk with your mouth full. So when you are eating, you should not talk with food in your mouth. Don't stare. Stare means to look at someone for a long time. Okay, so you should not do that. That is very offensive, because if you look at someone for a long time, or point, see, don't point. Point means to, as you can see the picture in your left hand side, to show your finger at something. So if you stare at someone or you show your finger at someone, if you point, so that is considered very rude. Okay, why? Because that person might think that you are saying something bad about them. So that is why you should not stare or point. And don't pick your nose. So we all know this is a very bad habit. When we clean our nose in, especially in public place, that is bad manners. Okay, so you should not pick your nose, because it is very unhygienic also. Unhygienic means a habit that can lead to sickness. Okay, so just like now, the corona pandemic is going on, and we are asked by doctors and everyone to clean our hands repeatedly. Okay, so if you suppose pick your nose, the germs that reside in our nose, that will get into our hand, and if we touch something else with that hand, the germ will go from transfer from our hand to that place. So for that we should not pick our nose, especially in public. Sit up. So you should not sit in a lagged manner. As you can see in the picture, in the topmost picture, you should not sit with a bended back. You should sit up straight. Good posture. Say please. So when you are asking something, when you are requesting someone for something, you should always say please. It is good manners. Less noise. So just like your parents tell you at your home, or your teachers tell you at your school, that you should not shout, you should not make unnecessary noise. So less noise. Shut the door behind you. Whenever you are going out, you should shut the door behind you, so that no bad things can get in. Don't drag your feet. So suppose a child is walking and he or she is very unwilling, so she is going very slowly, and dragging her feet, pulling very slowly. So the parents is asking, don't drag your feet, walk quickly, don't be so slow. Haven't you got a hanky? So don't you have a handkerchief or cloth to keep your face and nose clean? So that is also a very good manners, to keep a hanky with you, so that when you cough or sneeze in public, you can use it to stop the germs. Take your hands out of your pockets. So it is also considered a bad manners to keep your hands always in your pockets. So especially when you are talking to someone, you should keep your hands out of your pockets. Pull your socks up. Stand up straight. So we should not wear socks which just lay on our ankle. We should pull the socks up properly. And just like sitting, we should stand up straight also. Don't interrupt. No one thinks you're funny. So when someone is doing something, especially elders, when they are doing something, you should not disturb them. Okay, you should not stop their progress. And no one thinks you're funny. So when can this be said? 2 times. That probably the child is doing something he or she thinks probably is funny, but it is disturbing others. So that is why the parent is saying that no one thinks you are funny, you should not do that. Okay, or another time that probably the child is being especially shy, he or she would not talk, he or she would not answer. So that is why the parent is saying that no one thinks you are funny, no one would laugh at you, you should talk properly. Take your elbows off the table. which table? You have to remember this, not a study table but a dining table. So whenever you are eating, you should always take your elbows off. You should not keep your elbows in the dining table. That is considered as bad manners. Now see, the parent is saying all these things, giving all these instructions all the while, and at last he or she is saying, can't you make your own mind up about anything? So the child is very confused. If you are always rebuking someone, scolding someone, instructing someone, then how can someone make up their own mind? He or she is always scared, right? That she is probably always thinking that, oh, if I do this, I'll get rebuked. If I do that, I will get scolded. So that is why he or she is becoming indecisive. He cannot make up their mind. And the poet here, very amusingly, humorously, he is saying, he is trying to point that fact out, that if elders always rebuke us, always scold us, then how a child can make up their own mind? They will always be confused if the elders always continue to do that. Now there are some difficult words in this poem which might be new to you. Let's see what are those words. The first one is stare. Okay, so it was there in the first paragraph. Don't stare. So what does it mean? It means looking at something or someone with a fixed look, and especially with eyes wide open. So you are opening your eyes wide and looking at something or someone for a long time, gazing. Dragging, as I have already told you, here means move slowly. Hanky is a short form of handkerchief. Handkerchief, what is an handkerchief? A handkerchief is a short square piece of cloth which you use to wipe your eyes, your nose, like that. Interrupt means to disturb someone or halt, to stop someone when they are doing something and disturb them in their own work. So that's all for the poem, students. I hope you have understood and enjoyed the poem. That's all for today. Have a good day.